It's been around for nearly half a century, helping scale up and produce some of the newest innovations and products out there, among many other things. But key federal funding is unclear for the Cornell Nanoscale Facility. So joining us now is the facility director, Judy Cha. Judy, thanks so much for being here. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
I tried to do it there really quickly, but how would you describe it best to someone, what the nano facility is or does or makes or some combination of that?
Yeah, thank you. So nanoscale facility, you can think of it as a machine shop that makes tiny, tiny little things. So a scale of nano is, if you look at a dust particle floating in the air, and if you divide it by 1,000 times, that's the scale of nano. 1,000 times smaller than a dust particle, or 1,000 times smaller than a blood cell in our body. So nanoscale facility is a machine shop that can make devices and structures at that length scale. And that's actually everywhere, not only in our cell phones, but also in cosmetics and pharmaceutical applications, as well as gas and oil refining.
Wow. How big a resource was that National Science Foundation grant that I was kind of referring to in the intro? How important to the nano facility?
So the last NSF, National Science Foundation grant that has supported Cornell Nanoscale Facility, CNF, was $7.5 million over the last 5 years. So that's $1.5 million per year. And importantly, there was a matching grant from New York State that helped us. And this budget was actually about a third of the operation budget for the facility.
Wow. So what happens then? What are you doing now if the facility isn't able to get that kind of support that it's counted on for the last several years?
Right. So this last 5 years, the support is now completed, and we're all waiting for any news from National Science Foundation for the new program that can continue to support this facility. So if the new program doesn't start, then essentially we have lost 1/3 of our operation budget. And there are two outcomes. One is we have to increase the user rates. So even though the federal government is helping us, we still have to charge the users to use the facility. So one way is that we have to jack up the user rates quite a bit, and that's detrimental, especially for startup companies that need such facilities to do prototype development because, you know, their budget is tight. Or the other way would be that we have to scale back in our ability to provide various fabrication techniques.
Gotcha. Yeah, you kind of explained it there, who some of the users are, because they're not just researchers at Cornell that might be under some bigger umbrella or something like that. A lot of them are like those startups that have very, very tight budgets, you said.
Right. So when we talk about nanoscale research and nanotechnology, it covers a wide variety of disciplines and sectors, a lot of healthcare industry and microelectronics. So some of the startup companies that come to use our facilities are also regionally based. So one particular company that I can think about is Menlo Micro. It's a startup company that spun off from Corning. They're using glass as a high-tech substrate to make high-power electronics. And they come to our facility to do a lot of product development. Menlo Micro is only one example. New York, upstate New York, actually has a lot of companies that are making materials for high-power electronics, silicon carbide, gallium nitride, and they all come to academic facilities like ours to do their prototyping.
I'm sure you go through a pretty lengthy application process to get these kinds of federal grants and grants of any kind. But I'm going to ask it very simply like this. Is the National Science Foundation getting its money's worth out of its grant to your facility?
Yeah, so that's a very important question. We should always think about how is the tax dollar spent and does it really benefit the citizens? So National Nanotechnology Initiative is a long-held initiative that the government has supported for a little over 20 years. In fact, it was back in 2002, President Bush signed into law saying that federal government will really invest in nanotechnology. So over the years, a little over 23 years, federal government has spent about $40 billion supporting research and development in nanoscale science and technology. And in that time, nano sector, nano business has increased. And if you aggregate the revenue, gross income over that 20-something years, it's over $1 trillion.
Ooh.
So it's definitely more than tenfold return from the federal dollar in the investment.
Judy, this was a great chat. I'm out of time now. I hope the next time we are talking with you, you are telling me that you have gotten some of that funding restored or a new grant to be able to go forward. Judy, thanks for your time. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me again, and I hope so.